Welcome to the first ever EOTSN Live Basketball Power Rankings. We are ranking the boys varsity basketball teams in the CVC. And I'm here with my colleague Sam Toomey. And so we're going to start off at the beginning. Number 8. Sam, who do you got at number 8?
Number 8, we have the Oakmont Vikings. Now, this team should not be a surprise coming in at number 8. They've come in at the last place in the CVC for the last 3 years and haven't shown any real improvement with their now senior class not showing a lot of talent.
Yeah, I mean, they were competitive last year, but, I mean, they weren't competitive enough to stack up wins. So, I mean, they're not going to be an easy team to play against for any of these teams, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see them being better than anybody else in the league. So that's who's coming in at number 8. All right, so coming in at number 7, we have the Bella Vista Broncos. Now, interesting thing about Bella Vista Broncos, they finished 4th last year in the CVC, but big thing about them, they lost their starting point guard and their starting power forward. Their starting point guard transferred to a different school, and their power forward was a senior, so he's not going to the school anymore, obviously. So, but the thing about them that is, the unknown is that they do have 7 returning players from last year that are over 6 feet tall. So they're going to be a tall team, but in terms of talent level, they lost their 2 best guys. And I think right now it's just a little bit unknown of what they're going to do this year. So that's who's coming in at number 7.
Coming in at the 6th spot, we have the Del Campo Cougars. Now, the Cougars, they lost their leading scorer in Joe Gallagher last year, and he was the only real talent they had. Much like the Oakmont Vikings in that they don't have the talent to get wins in this vaunted CVC.
Yeah, Del Campo last year, they were I don't know. The interesting thing about them is that last year they were really competitive with everybody that they played against. They actually beat Antelope at Antelope on Antelope's senior night. So just like their football team, they're really tough. They never give up. But yeah, I mean, again, just talent. I don't know if they're going to have enough talent to keep up with everybody in the CVC. So that's just coming in at number 5. So coming in at number 5 is the Antelope Titans. Now, Antelope finished, what did they finish last year in the CVC?
Well, they finished first.
They finished first. Okay, so it may seem weird how they jumped from 1 to 5, but they lost 12 seniors from last year's teams, including their top 4 leading scorers. So their JV team last year was average. I think they went 17-10.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have, I don't know if, I mean, their bench last year was really good, but losing 12 seniors and losing your top 4 leading scorers, that's going to be tough to deal with.
And along with that, they lost kind of a once-in-a-lifetime player in Kai Tees. And where does Antelope find their leadership after that? We don't know. We don't have the answer to that at this point.
So that's who's coming in at number 5.
Coming in at the number 4 spot is the Roseville Tigers. Now, the big thing for Roseville this year is how do they react to losing 3 of their starters from a season ago? Braden Triplett, Jimmy Jaggers, and Grant Bear. Now, we know that Grant Bear is supposed to return this year, but we don't know when. And some upsides for Roseville is they have 9 returning players from the season ago, and a really good JV team is coming in, which cannot be undervalued.
No, I mean, with Grant being out because of a torn ACL, Jimmy leaving because of UCLA, congratulations to him, and Braden leaving for, well, he didn't necessarily leave, he's just going to play soccer. Yeah, losing 3 starters, that's going to be a big blow, but yeah, great JV team, and all their captains are coming back from last season, and 9 returning players, so there's no shortage of experience. So yeah, Roseville's coming in at number 4. So, coming in our 3rd spot is the Cosumnes Oaks Wolfpack. Now, Cosumnes Oaks has 7 returning seniors this year, including their leading scorer, Jeff Dresser. Last year, Cosumnes Oaks did not shoot a lot of threes. They hung out around the mid-range area and in the paint. The thing about them is that they are very athletic and they are very, very fast.
Yeah, and they're also a very deep team with a good JV class coming in, and we already knew that the 7 returning players were good with varsity experience.
Yeah, so Cosumnes Oaks is 3rd on our list.
At number 2 is the Ponderosa Bruins. 2 big things for Pondo this year is that they have 13 returning varsity players, which is the most in the CVC, and their location. Every team in the CVC has to travel at least an hour distance just to get to Pondo. And once you're there, you got to get up for a big home game because their fans bring it.
Yeah, that's true. Every single time Fans pack the stadium, and that's why Pondo is coming in at number 2. Rounding off our power rankings is number 1, Whitney High School. So a couple things about Whitney. 1, they have a lot of guards on their team, and they're very fast. Number 2, they like to rotate their guys, all 5 of them, about every 3 minutes, so they're always fresh.
Yeah, and just like we said with Consumers Soaks, Whitney is also a very deep team with 9 returning players from last year and a lot of guys with varsity experience. And one thing about Whitney, they want to shoot the 3 ball.
Yeah.
They utilize it with a lot of good shooters like Matt Willis and Josh O'Hara.
Yeah, definitely. They probably shoot the most threes of anybody in the CVC. So these are our power rankings for every boys team in the CVC. Keep in mind that these are just based off of last year's record and roster. None of these teams have played a game yet, so these are just pre-everything right now. So thank you for watching our very first EOTSN Power Rankings.